Welcome to round 3 for Bandana Division on the PUBG OCE Bandana Division CGL. Tonight we've got 3 rounds coming up with a lot of gameplay. Probably going to be looking at players from Pure Gatka, I suppose, made a big impact last week. I'm joined here by Nutshot. My apologies, I should have brought you in straight away, mate. How you going, Nutshot?
Yeah, good, Zuko. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. I'm too excited. I want to get straight back into the 100% Pure Gatka boys. They for the last 2 CGLs have been putting in a hell of a lot of effort. Is there any teams that are sparking your interest for tonight to keep an eye on?
Look, obviously, I think Rank Tank is leading the charge. That those guys have been playing quite strong. I'm also keen to see what Esteemed can do tonight as well.
Esteemed, I read them as S-Team D. A bit of a hard one to pick up. I think you're right there. Esteemed might be the right call out for their team. Now they're currently placed. Where are they at the moment?
Currently in third.
In third place.
Yeah. So the standings at the moment: Rank Tank sitting in position 1, Avoid the Zoid in 2, and Esteemed in position 3.
Now, Avoid the Zoid, bunch of players that are predominantly in the top 10 across the board in the last 3 seasons in PUBG. So definitely a team to keep an eye on as we come into the early stages of the launch for everybody about to paradrop. Going to probably look at a little bit going northwest around the BC area on the line of K, and probably going to see the same as we get to the F grid as well. A lot of players we're going to go for around Yaz and sort of mid-east areas. As you can see, Bouncy Butts and the boys there now going for Primo. It looks like 2-3 squads perhaps already on their way in there. Any early predictions for certain teams, the way they might have had their play style from the last CGL? Nutshot.
Look, it all depends on the RNG, doesn't it? Yeah. This is a fairly decent plane. You can get to pretty much anywhere on the map. As you can see, that's split. A lot of guys heading towards George. Primorsk, might be some early conflict at Primorsk. Looks like we've got two teams down there as well, and then a couple of teams having a crack for Mill Island. So looks like Yasnaya's going to get busy as well. So it could be some early battles, which would be a nice change from the last couple of games.
Hobbits in space. You can see on the top of the current name tags, Down Me Cab, that's the team up there, Hobbits in Space. They're moving up through grid J on that line from E to D, going towards Severny. Don't think they're going to be going to the firing range unless perhaps the team in front of them are a little bit closer. I think it might just be... No, I think it's just the 4 of them there, actually. So they've got a pretty good loot run far up in the north. As we zoom in here on the ferry pier, we can see Bacon and the boys, an outlier, moving towards the Snovka military, which is uncontested at the moment. And we can see Bouncy Butts' team, and looks like Zoid, they're getting in a bit of contact there. We see Chillville taking a little bit of DMG at the moment in Primo as the circle starts to converge around the central eastern side of the map.
Yeah, we've already got conflict in a couple of places down at Primorsk with Zoid's team, also maybe up towards George. We've got a little bit of headbutting happening at North George.
Rozok not too badly contested. We can see Ray and Extrude's boys in there. Just to the south of them, I think it's at Apps. Doesn't look like they're at the school. I think at Apps you can see Joeskis and Jackie. No, they're out at school as well. Okay, so a lot of loot there to be had between their players, DWCK, Joeskis, and Jackie and the boys down there at school and apartments. They're going to have a lot to be able to carry here as we get a little bit closer on the guys in Rozok. 2 teams there contesting for the north and south side of the road. I think north side of the road is going to be the place to be up there in Roz as we zoom in on Primorsk.
Yeah, you can see the guys have spread out to the opposite ends of the town. They're all going to be looting frantically, aware of the other team that's in their vicinity. I think Rozok...
Further out there to the east, looks...
Yeah, sorry, Suka. I was going to say Rozok's probably the next place where we're going to have a bit of conflict. Look like 2 squads fairly close there as well.
Jumping on board with Ray Cutie right here. He's got himself the over-under shotgun, if I'm not mistaken. Still got a level 1 backpack, level 1 helmet, so not very well equipped for an assault here, and they are in very close proximity. Just across the road there, within 100 metres, they've got another squad just to the north.
Yeah, look, he's got the basics. He's got armour and a helmet. These guys would desperately be looking for a rifle. You'll feel a lot more confident with an AR in your hand for these medium range battles.
It's funnily enough that you explained that you'd be more comfortable with the ARs. You can see VFox, I believe, with the AK there. Now, you've got the S686 on Ray QD. That only puts out 25 hit points of damage. Now, when you contrast that with the AKM putting out 48, it's kind of a bit of a strange escalation in damage when you go from the close range to the mid range. We can see Ray there trying to get Hawkins. Hawkins starting to met up now on the stairs. Looks like the assault's getting pushed. Fox doesn't really want to cross the road there, but I think he's got Hawkins in his sight, and Hawkins sitting roughly at about 10-15% health right now with a Vector only.
Yeah, there was an early knock there, but probably you'd be pushing bad position. The guys on the southern side of the road have got better position, a bit of high ground, so probably safe to stay on their side of the road, keep looting.
Now, Hawkins probably should know better, especially with his detail as Dev. He's probably got a lot of insight into the game itself. With his Vector, it's only going to put out 31 hit points of damage. Now, that can only zero at a range of 50 compared, when you're looking, I suppose, at the AKM that we could see Fox holding earlier. You got a zero in range of 1 to 400 metres, and they're at about 100 to 150 metre engagement between the two teams as Ray starts closing it in. And he's closing it in now with the shotgun, the 86, and it's not going to do him any justice here as he switches out looking for the 9mm by the looks of it.
Yeah, that was just silly. That was a bit of a suicide run there. I'm not sure what they're doing. They should have guys up on those roofs, keeping the high ground, keeping these guys across the road pinned. If he was going to be going for that push, he pretty much just ran out by himself.
Very suitable name there for Patience. Definitely taking his time.
Yes, he's going to. That's what's going to be one down already.
I think we've just had a bit of deja vu there. Patience going through the same ropes that we just saw Ray QD go through. Graphite and Hawkins left there defending on the high ground, which it does give them an advantage for visual, but they're kind of pinned because they really don't have an exfiltration point. If they were to go uphill, they're going to be exposed. If they go to the west or to the east, they're going to be exposed. VFox Extrude putting the pressure on. Extrude running with the SMG. He's got the Vector. He might be looking to finalise things here against Hawkins, as we can see Graphite going down. Correct.
Only one guy left on this squad, and that's Hawkins. So those other guys should be pushing them pretty aggressively now. It's 4v1. Wipe this squad and then loot the rest of Roz in safety.
Now, he can put out, at range, he's going to be 25 hit points of damage. He's going to need to get 2, 4, 6, 8 shots off just to get someone from full health down, and then 4 times that pretty much to be able to get the rest of the team there. So he's opting to go for the Vector, but then again with the Vector, he's got 13 rounds without the extended. He's in a very pressured place right now. As you can see, Baxter is coming out of nowhere.
Look, he's got his work ahead of him, but I mean, look, that guy can sure rock a skirt. Look at that short skirt. It's quite impressive, isn't it?
I think he's got the bagpipes playing. He can hear the underworld calling for him. And I think Extrude just pulls up on the east side. Very nice flank that he pulled there, pretty much from the standing that he had on that little patrol tower. As we zoom out, we can see in G-Grid, GK to the northeast, right on the shore there's a drop, and it doesn't look like it's contested or it's being sought after. And definitely a bit of contact going on just to the southeast of that crate currently. Yeah,
looks like a battle at Lipovka at the moment. 2 groups would be in there. That's not the biggest town. So these guys, there's going to be some conflict here pretty quick as well.
I think Tiddly might have been pushing on a little bit of pressure there, putting out shots from G9, probably into L2, I think it was, towards... Who was it that he was shooting at towards, actually? I can't see him in our current range right now. But he was definitely put some shots down range to the south from his current position. Looks like those 3 have been left as their teammates gone for a wide south flank. It's Stuka. Okay, so it was Stuka that was taking shots there from Tiddly, and he's definitely backing right off. He's got an M16 in his hand, so he had the range to fight back, but perhaps didn't know from what angle he was getting shot at. It's a very pacific play as he takes a Cadley approach and just runs straight to the southwest from his past location when Tiddly was firing at him. As we jump on board now, looking down to the south still, sort of a tunnel vision towards Stuka's team. Disco Viking looking like he's going to go, he's going east to west over the road now, so they're starting to condense around the central area of Lipovka. I think
and no immediate pressure on these guys. They're already in the circle, so they're going to have time to try and work their angles and get position and all that. Looks like this Stuka's team might be looking to dip. They've got a vehicle. They're probably going to try and get out of there pretty quick.
Bob putting on the pressure there, and it's the right move. He knows that they've put a little bit of damage into the team. If they can push them out, that means potentially more loot for them. It's very crucial at this stage of the game with 76 players still alive in this evolution of the circle. And unfortunately for Stuka's team, they can't really move into prison or shelter. And prison currently uncontested. I think it has been for the early part of the game and the best part of the early part of the game, as we can see a second crate somewhere between Blind Freddy and Dalmy Cab's teams right there in EJ on that intersection. So it'd be interesting to see if anyone decides to leave out of Yasnaya, and go north. Navoj's team possibly tactically the closest, with the best sort of an eye view on who could be going for that from any sort of direction, depending on where they are in those apartment areas. As we can still see in the background here just to the right, Bob Bork and the rest of the boys now comfortably looting up with an uncontested Lipovka at their disposal.
Yeah, it looks like both Zoid and Bouncy's teams are pushing in with that circle, pretty much running in parallel. These guys will be obviously looking for new position, driving in with the circle. Typically, best strategy is going to be in this early piece, drive in with the circle, see where the next circle is going to shrink to. Then you can try and choose a safe building, somewhere to fortify up towards the center of the circle, and then take your luck that the next shrinks are going to favour you.
We were just jumping on board there for a sec with Zoid, mate. Avoid the Zoid. So Shero and the boys riding up as they're getting a little bit closer to Meow right here. Looks like they're splitting off. I don't know if they're going to go for the contact here. Smart players would go for longevity. This is a late game league. You're looking for the points. You're not looking for the early kills, because the kills don't get you the points as much as the placing will. So generally the medics, for speaking for players in the top 10, will be looking for as much longevity as they can. Med's probably going to be the priority over anything else, but avoid the Zoid. They've got themselves a vehicle. Unfortunately, it looks like they could come to a crossroad, and in this situation, you're going to be versing players on foot. If you do come across players on foot and you're getting to this choke point here at the bridge, they have the advantage of steady aim. So we'll see what happens here as they come across from south to north, about to cross to the east side of the bridge. So we jump on with JNIEPS. I don't know how to pronounce that. J Nipes.
Yep, he doesn't want a bar of it. He saw that car coming. He's just focused on getting out of the blue into the new circle. Missed opportunity there to take out one of the better teams in the game, I reckon.
Definitely a missed opportunity. I think this damage that's going to be incoming from the circle isn't really that significant this early on in the game. Perhaps not wanting to give away their position if they hadn't been seen might have been valuable in case a play was made where they go for the roadkill. That can always work out for an aggressor if you are driving aggressively. But in most circumstances with this very, very light damage of blue coming in, it would have been much more worthwhile trying to at least disable the vehicle and keep them within arm's reach.
Yeah, and what you'll see now is teams are going to start vying for these valuable positions towards the centre of the circle. Down Meekab's group, it looks like there's only two of them in the car. They were probably going to have a look at that vehicle, see if it was that house, see if it was already contested, which it was. So they're going to probably keep moving to look for another place to set up.
Now these guys here that have been shooting at the Hobbiton space as they came through with their UAZ got themselves a nice hard point. We can see Earl's Brutal now starting to make a push to the southeast area. Moving on some of these hard points, we can see Dead Dreams, Jam Drop looking to hold up on some of these small buildings that are sporadically scattered around the D7K3 area. They've also got the high ground advantage, or they did have the high ground advantage. They've come off high ground and they no longer have that high ground advantage. They're coming downhill and exposing themselves. Very bad decision here being made.
There's lots of cover in this area. You can actually move in and around quite easily in here. So this should be an interesting fight.
I find it interesting to see that they prefer to run downhill as opposed to hold the high ground, be able to see. One of the biggest fundamentals of PUBG is you open your front up to somebody and open up for fire. You're going to keep your rear exposed to somebody, and that's where you sort of lose with that tunnel vision. A lot of the time, you're going to see players not watching with 360 defense, which in firefights can be very costly. Now, they've come from a hard point high up where they could have seen out and over ledges in the vicinity of about 75 meters visibility. They've given that up to try and get a teammate a little bit closer in the D7 K3 intersection as Ellis Brutal starts moving back towards the Hobbiton Space UAZ right on the outside edge of that western circle. And it'd be interesting to see if these two teams here with Avoid the Zoid and Dynamancer's boys, Shero going down there right on the banks. I think Zoid coming in for the medic.
Yeah, he's going in for the loot. Yeah, the team up on the hill obviously has the advantage here, especially with the circle. What do we got? 45 seconds left. If they play smart, keep these guys pinned in, and stop them leaving in their vehicle, they can really cause some problems for Zoid's team.
I think Zoid's team is probably in a very, very tight situation here. They can run along this southern or the north end of the coast from the river, but they're, little to them knowing where the other teams are while they're going to be tunnel visioning and concentrating on these players that are giving them grief right now. As we just see Zoid, I think it was the 8 times there, just headshots with the M16. Very responsive weapon early on without the need for any attachments.
Yeah, and you saw Zoid there, pretty good recoil control. He doesn't usually miss those shots.
Confident now running to the east. He knows that the circle's starting to converge on him. Right below our cameraman, we can see Les just holding the anchor, making sure that nobody else is creeping up on Zoid as he goes for his easterly flank. Trying to get their way over that mid-bridge by the look of it as Dynamancer and Lani and the boys start moving on the northern edge. Running now with Extrude and Z. They've just got themselves a level 3 backpack total back by the looks of it from that crate there.
Do we see what weapon they got out of that crate?
Yeah, I'm very interested to find out. If I'm not mistaken, I think I might have seen a silhouette of the EBR. We'll see in a moment's time.
I guess time will tell, correct. Oh, no, M249. Okay. Extrude's running the M249 KR combo. That's a deadly combination. So he's going to be hoping he's going to get people driving past him pretty soon because that is a vehicle destroyer.
Now that does put out 44 damage. So with an expendable clip of 100 rounds, the only downside to that gun is going to be the reload time on it. So you do see a force of habit with a lot of players using the reload just as a second nature. A player who understands the capacity and the usability of that M249 is going to be able to use that at its maximum potential by keeping an eye on not maybe reloading until they get down to the final 15 or 10 bullets if necessary. I think a competent player you find using the 249 will switch to their secondary before opting to reload in any critical situations.
You can see Linksy's group is set up in this little compound. This is actually one of my favourite little compounds. I affectionately call this one Love Shack number 2. It's a good little compound to set up when you're staging for the circle for the next area. You've got good 360 vision, and you can defend it quite well. Lots of open ground around it.
Doesn't seem to be holding any threat from the north at the moment, but it looks like a very good strong point as we've jumped on with Zapruder. I think Zapruder's team has made their way up from far to the west-southwest of the map and actually got themselves right in the thick of it. You see Zapruder just going down here below this rock, right up where he's parked the UAZ. So it looks like they've taken full target once their vehicle was spotted as they came into the vicinity. And Grumps and the boys holding nicely on their fortified location at the moment.
Yeah, so we've just had a circle change. It'd be interesting to see which side this circle goes. So it's gone fairly east. Yasnaya is going to be included. So what you're going to see now is a scurry of activity for people vying for these buildings. You can see Blackout's team cruising in now in a vehicle, and then there's another group just to the north of them. These guys are going to be looking for either houses on the outskirt, or there's going to be a big rush to get into Yaz itself.
I love Spaghetti going down, one of the more notable players in the PUBG OC community, always online, always playing. So good to see him getting at least this far into the game as a lot of the players start to condense down. It's just going to be a bit of a kill feed, I believe, as the circle starts to get into a very, very peculiar spot. There's a lot of obscurity for players. It's going to be closing in around Yasnaya, so lots of opportunity for hard cover here. And we jump on here with Happy Novites, Extrude, and Baxterix. Baxterix, as we saw early game, making that nice flank from the east side on Hawkins and the boys up there at Rozok. So good to see them still in the game as Happy Novites going upstairs looking for some loot by the look of things.
Yeah, look,
he's looking for angles.
Opting for an edge house, edge of the circle. This is quite a strong compound to hold. But yeah, they've obviously spotted that group at that other two-story across the road.
Got the ACOG on right now at a 0 of 100 meters, so he's going to be going right off the top of the red hat on that, and he's got those guys in that compound within his sights ranges. We can see them just moving off a little bit too quick. Not going to be really able to do anything there, but anyone is going to go for contention on that garage house two-story. It looks like it's going to be very optimal for them as we jump on board with VFox. Looks like he's doing the old strafe tactic, thinking he's being watched as he grabs his crate. Looks very uncontested. You can't even see from the squad to the far east. Look, Bouncy Butt squad, not even contending. They are stuck right in the thick of it between two crates. Probably think they have the upper hand here, but because of the defilade, it doesn't look like Fox got spotted. So Fox put in a hell of a lot of work early game. He went for some pressure as we saw the first contact there at Rozok. Now he's got himself some goodies out of that crate.
We're going to get some action on this bridge. Circle's on the move now, so it's going to be pulling all of these guys across the bridge into this smaller circle. So it looks like there was about 3 squads in contention. We've got 2 in the water, and then we've got Zoid's team coming in 2 vehicles as well.
Not sure what Downby Cub's doing here is he's got himself stuck between a rock and a wet place by the look of it, because Zoid's team right up there in the dust are getting off top of the bank, moving further to the north. I think they know that there's going to be a pincer here as Downby Cub slowly but surely trying to get north side of the bridge. I think he's going to try and go for a rear sneaky breaky here, and he might be able to pull it off. You can see Dave Blade and Sand Monkey and the boys moving to the east as they hit land now. El Brutal on top of the bridge, waiting for the time to strike. Not engaging, though. I think Downby's going to go for the silent but deadly here.
Yeah, look, it's a smart tactic trying to catch a squad in the rib, but they're going to get caught in the blue here. The other team, if they get along the bank far enough, can probably jump into the safety of the water. But it looks like L's squad's going to be they're on the move now. They're going to have to push in, or they're all going to start getting chunked pretty hard when this blue meets the white circle.
Looks like Hobbiton Space have the advantage here on high ground, being able to sight these guys getting out of the water. But as Yes on Blind's turning his back and exposing himself, these guys could just as easily get on the bank, pop a few shots, get back in the water. Yes on Blind now taking cover on a hard point here. Still got his rear exposed, or his slight left side exposed here. Shots going out. David Blade going down. So Bacon Pac-Man gets himself one. Dave Blade going to bleed out to the circle. Not going to make it much further than this right now as we jump on board with Bacon Pac-Man inside one of these yellow single-story log cabins.
Oh, look, and it's just a shooting gallery for this guy. Look at all these people, silly people stuck in the blue. There's a team in good position in the inside the circle, just absolutely destroying these 2 teams who made poor decisions.
I think you mentioned earlier there was another team that was going to be sitting on the edge circle, and it's definitely a good call because you can see with Bacon, he's able to see not just having tunnel vision, but he's got the awareness of anyone's going to be coming in from the outside of the circle and the distraction that they're going to have. So they're not going to be able to pose a threat to be able to fire back. He can just literally sit in that window without having to worry about any contention, especially with that window facing out of the circle, not towards the inside where there's going to be counter snipers and whatnot. As we jump back on board with Zoid, you can see that Les is down right here in front of they've got 2 vehicles right now. 3 vehicles, the third vehicle coming into play. V79-3 on the decoy trying to push him out of the way. It'll be interesting to see if Zoid can get the meds on him in time. Sorry, as you were saying, Nutty?
I was just going to say, yeah, so you can see Les got knocked off his bike. Zoid's off just headshotting everyone driving past, and you've got V just driving around in his car. These guys are going to regroup here, push in on the edge. A lot of open ground to cover to get across. We've got guys on the roof of police. They're already spotted Zoid's team, so
I was going to say, it's not a good spot to be sitting there with that burning car. Like, it's a dead giveaway, and the fact that they ran up and investigated from behind the burning car, all that's going to do is silhouette them and skyline them. So I would have said bit of a faux pas there for the game. Decided they wanted to come up that death lane in that direction, because all that's going to do is just keep them exposed to anyone really from any direction, because it's on the outside of the circle. So potentially going to have 2-3 teams looking at them. I mean, perhaps from the south it's going to be over 200, 400 meters, but Dalbatron and the boys here definitely being able to sight them because of that burning vehicle.
Yeah, look, and it just depends on whether Zoid's team can move into the new circle undercover. That circle's pushing them in now. Looks like they are trying to wrap possibly left a bit on that circle. Yeah, this will be interesting. I mean, typically the guys on the police station would be able to devastate a team stuck in that position, but my prediction is Zoid will headshot 2 of them, and while they're reviving, his team will be able to move into cover.
Now, we're watching Pandemic here. We're on board with Zhangxi 42. Now, interestingly, just before Zhangxi went prone, you could see him actually using the high side of that vent, the high side of that air conditioning inlet, as cover from the west side of Yasnaya. Now, I don't know if he did that on purpose, but it's something to note, because he was able to use that to silhouette himself and keep an eye on Zoid's team, but he obviously wanted to get a little bit closer to that edge there and have a look at them as we sort of come in a little bit closer here on Kamikaze's team. It's coming a very similar gameplay from what we saw, I think, from I think it was mid or early in CGL round 1 for Bandana Division as it closed in on Yasnaya. Kamikaze now holding up as the circle starts to pull in. These guys are pincered right in the middle with a lot of hard cover. It's going to work for them. As we can see, Virilius very close to peeking, and NZ Snapshot and Blackout. I think it was Snapshot that got the real play of the game. I think it was last week on that final round. So definitely someone to watch here as things start to get hairy.
Yeah, these guys are getting held up by this other team. They really need to be decisive now. They got 50 seconds. They're going to have to make a hole and start pushing down towards that circle. The southern part of Yaz is still in. There is a lot of buildings and a big road they're going to have to cross to get down there.
From this angle, everyone is very slowly but surely migrating to the west. It's all just going to fall in. If these two teams don't GTFO right now, it's going to condense very quickly. I think Virilius might be the first to get in contact here. As we can see Blackout smoking his way out. Not too sure of where the enemies are. Close, within 100 meters just to his left, but they are looking outside of the circle looking for stragglers. I think if we go into more of an aerial view, it'll be a little bit easier to pick some of the plays here, as all of this HUD element is starting to get a little bit muddly for us.
Yeah, well, you watch 47 alive. That number's going to drop significantly, I think, in the next sort of 30 seconds as this circle squeezes everyone into a more condensed area.
And we just saw Virilius there getting on his last legs. Oh dear, look at these guys here outside in the hay bale fields. We just seen Janip's team and Trashmang taking a lot of flack. DWICK, Jack the One, Leonardo, all these boys in contact right now. Marksy as well, pushing up with Navoj. Bob Bork holding. Now, we saw Bob Bork putting in a bit of assault earlier on in the game. Right now, they're holding a hard point, and they've got themselves a very nice compound here. They can defend 360 if they grab the right angles. A little bit of obscurity on board with Virilius. Looking to take the last stand right now. I think he might have been looking for an escape there. Not working out for him, hits the deck. All this is going to do is put him in a disadvantage for anyone that's going to be third person around that wall. Probably not the best decision right there.
Look at this circle. This is magnificent. So all these guys in buildings on the edge, they're all going to get squeezed out and put into the middle. The guys with the best position in that field with either
Bouncy Butts V1793, I reckon.
Yeah, these guys are very, very close. Yeah, that's a strong position, that Wizard Tower, especially on a circle like this. But it's just going to be out. Is V the last one alive in that squad?
Yeah, you watch. He's going to do a ballsy play. He's got himself good obscurity. If nobody's on that bottom level, he's going to be able to get a nade in there and then watch that door. There's not going to be much contention for him as he comes out of that crate unless they are standing on the stairs or very hard pressed against the south side window. You can see Backstrix, Extrude, and V-Fox in a nice death laid here. I think these guys are very strong position as well. They might get this assault as they move a little bit closer towards this smoke. That's right in front of them. They can see. I think it's Jackie, is it right in front of them?
The player count's dropped in half from what it was on that last circle. So the circle doing its work, forcing the action, forcing players out
Disco Viking
to each other.
Might be in very close proximity to that explosion. Oh, it just... Did you see that? How it's just moved extrude out of the way, but it didn't finish him? I think that impact zone needs a little bit of reworking there, because that was a very, very good nade. Disco Viking got done by Happy No Vites. No Vites now. Those guys got a very good position on the inside of the circle. Look south and look to the far east. Strongest positions as of current. I don't think the guys with Happy No Vites should get in any earlier than they are right now, because all that's going to do is keep them exposed if there is a change of circle.
Looks like Bouncy's crew's about to find V there. Yeah, these guys are very close. So, yeah, V's pushed up to the bottom of that wizard. Bouncy's still inside. This will be interesting to see who comes out on top of this one. It's going to be a 2v1.
I feel like I might have called him going for the assault, but having a look at these windows, he needs to get around to the south side, which is now blocked off by the blue. He's not going to be able to get another nade in there if he does have one at his disposal. Toby looking into the field, but probably not able to spot that V1793 is right below him, just to his northwest. Able to get a flank as he pulls right around now underneath the stair set. Now, this is going to be a very strong position, because as they come out, they're going to have their third-person view obscured by that doorway and by the roof. And V1793 now starting to slightly come out of that obscurity. He's going in for the UAZ.
He's decided to dip. He's just going. He's playing for position. He's playing for survivability, and he got wrecked.
I think that was a very unfortunate maneuver for the sake that he could have got himself 2 bonus points where he really traded off with nothing there. I mean, if you're going to get GTA points for picking up vehicles, then, you know, all 5 stars to him. But it probably would have been a better play, especially with gear and perhaps first aid to get in the circle there, as the guys would come out looking to either utilize that UAZ or to get their position on the widened end of the circle. We can see VFox knocking out Bouncy Butts now. Dynamancer going down by Yazukage.
Yeah, three groups left.
Play it right, VFox. No, he doesn't. He doesn't make it into the circle. Gets trapped there by the 3 hay bales, probably looking for an offensive maneuver.
Well, Toby is doing work. He's hitting his shots, and look, he's still alive in the last circle. There's not many teams left still going, so it looks like he's secured a top 3 for his team so far.
I think Toby owes his life to V1793 taking that play with the UAZ. If he hadn't done that, I don't think he'd be in contention right now for the final spot. As he goes for an assault here, doesn't work out for him. Merrick getting him with the M416 at very close quarters.
Yeah, this is a fantastic circle. Imagine how good it would be if there was no forced foliage, you know. These guys would just have to move from cover to cover instead of just staying prone.
Going to say the forced foliage definitely makes it incredibly entertaining, especially when someone like Zapruder can get himself a frag on a double there. I think it was a down and out right there. And Yazukage out of the game. 4 left in contention. I think now might be a time to pull back out and see where these guys are going to start coming in from at the moment, as we've got Outlier going solo against Case and Merrick and Zapruder.
Yep, we have moved into the Prone Grounds Battlegrass section of the game, which is, and there we go.
So Zapruder, team. Merrick,
look at the kills.
Case, and
14 kills. 14 kills for that team. That's a strong effort.
No, not too far behind him. Bacon, Outlier, Yazukage, and Animal Alpha. Now, we saw Yazukage and Outlier very close there to the end. So playing, you know, in a close duo right towards the end there. Toby won. I love Speedy going out quite early, as we saw there in the better half of that round. I think he made it in the top 60 by the look of things. But those boys get themselves in a third. So Bouncy making sure that I Love Spaghetti's efforts not going to waste. As also VFox, No Vites, putting in a lot of work this round. Backstrix we saw early, coming out of nowhere for early contact right there in Rozok. And Lanny we saw with Dynamancer and Benny coming up. Skank Hunt didn't see very much in this game, but the presence is going to be known because these guys got in the top 5. So there's our top 5 teams for tonight in Bandana. Any notable plays tonight for the first round of Bandana that you noticed tonight, Nutshot?
Look, I'd probably just call out Toby. He's only got 3 kills on the board, but the only kills for his squad. But they seem to be the kills that counted. That was a good effort. And obviously, Zapruder with 7 kills up there is looking pretty strong. He's been hitting his targets.
I think the only thing that would have made Zapruder's round better is if that was a final kill with that grenade. But I think play at the game, in my opinion, definitely going to Zapruder there in the grass with the right frame of mind to go with that frag. So we'll be back with more of the Bandana division for round 2 of the night in CGL 3 for this season. Welcome back, JDs and Lentilmen, or ladies and gentlemen, however you want to be pronounced. It's Suko Vidi here, joined with Nutshot AU, the number one caster, the host with the most, here for round 2 for the night of the Bandana Division on the PUBG OCE CGL Season 2, ready to kick things off. Any predictions early on, Nutshot?
I'm quite keen to see what Rank Tank can do. They're the Salt and Pepper squad. I want to see what those guys can do. They got a little bit unlucky with that last circle. So, keen to see what those guys have got in store for us.
Now, Rank Tank, we did see some strong plays from last game. Now, I'm going to get these names mixed up because both both have NZ in them, and I'm either going to think it's Black at NZ or Snapshot, NZ Snapshot. I think it was NZ Snapshot, I believe. And you care to elaborate on what did you mean by the Salt and Pepper squad? Was it for the pushing that they were doing?
No, the Salt and Pepper squad, those guys are the seasoned veterans of this division.
I thought we were going to chuck a little segue into push it as they assault the houses. But we definitely saw a little bit of the seasoning of peppering with some of the shots, leaving some salty plays there from NZ Snapshot as he finalised last week's round 3 with that nice play of the game, play of the night, play of the match that he had there.
Yeah, that was a great finish. Very smart play. So let's see what this plane's doing. Okay, we're coming in from the southeast, heading to the northwest. So it's pretty much.
I'm just going to call
exactly
that PUBG OCE headquarters from now when it comes out from underneath that watermark.
Okay. Yep. so pretty much the opposite run. So we'll probably have. Look at that. Look how many people are jumping out. There's going to be some conflict at Millbase and Novo for sure. People are going to be vying for Milta, possibly trying to get a car to head north up to the safety of Lipovka and Yasnaya.
You know, if it's possible, I'd like to just jump in here on the guys that are crossing the river now, just to the east side. I want to see how these guys actually form, maybe from a raised angle here. You can see they start to spread out from Milta. There's generally always someone going for that early shed right underneath the M in Milta. Outlier landing pretty close to the beachhead. So we've still got 3 squads there. Jam Drop, David Blaine's boys, and Zoid's squad moving in just towards the power plant. So Leonardo is actually split a little bit further out. Might be trying to keep an eye on Tiddly and Bovbork and Mozart and the boys. And Shero and Zoid dropping south of Les. Interesting play here.
Yeah, I'd say just people have spotted vehicles and changed direction last minute to try and get to those vehicles. But looks like conflict already happening in Milta, conflict at Roz as well, and look, we've even got guys up heading for Zaki. Two squads going for Zaki. Okay, this will be an interesting start. We might see a few early losses.
Have a look at Team Advance here in Georgipol, in a pretty uncontested area actually right now. Right down there near the hospital, and back down here. Oh, looks like Zoid. Wow, that is a very, very unexpected play this early in. 83 players left alive. Zoid going down for the count.
I think someone actually called first kill would be Zoid, and they might have put the mocker on him because that's happened. Did we see how he was killed? Was he run over?
It was actually Perfs Gaming. It was the first call that was made in the PUBG OCE chat after I said first death, first kill. It was Zoid, mate, first death. Zoid's the second reaction. Wow. So we heard hopefully peak in second. So it looks like there were some pretty close predictions there by the PUBG OCE fanboys in the chat. As we zoom in on Rozok now, wait for some assets to load in. Geez, you really hit the nail on the head there with that one. Nutty, you didn't let any of that slip by you.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Zoid's squad goes now that they've lost him. He's quite a pivotal player in their team. We can see there's conflict happening in Ros. The circle is southeast. Looks like the teams Millbase, Novo, Milta are in pretty good position. Even Lipovka's a pretty good place at the moment. all these guys over at George aren't going to be able to muck around too long. They've got 5 minutes to loot up, secure a vehicle, and start heading in towards the new circle.
Ray QD, one of the early aggressors from the Rozok last round, holed up in a building. It's going rug shopping at the moment. Going into the, I wouldn't even call this a bedroom. This thing's bloody tiny. Looks like a side office here. He's found himself some 7.62. Not going for the revolver. Does have 5.56 on the M16 in tow, so no need to really worry about the AK ammo there. Peeking and Snapshot now. Now, this was another early prediction that we saw from the guys in PUBG OCE chat. I think they said Peeking wants to come in for the second, so 83 players left alive. Might be worth spotting and seeing what Peeking does here, just to make sure that he gets this curse off his back.
Yeah, I think Peeking needs to find a helmet. The way PUBG works, there's probably going to be a lot of bullets heading
look, with a
towards
haircut
his
like
face.
that, he's not going to pick anything up today.
He's looking quite stylish.
I think Beebs himself would be jealous. Snapshot. Perhaps the predictions start to come off after Zoid. Unlucky for Zoid, but looks like a good omen here for Peeking. Graphite and Hawkins pushing on extreme 2G right now.
Yeah, and this needs to happen, right? These guys, they know that there's two groups in this town. If you get caught up in a slow peaking battle with these guys, you're going to get stuck there. You're not going to get good loot, and you're going to get stuck in the blue a long way from the circle. So there needs to be one of these teams being aggressive and trying to push and wipe the other team so they can loot up and get out of there.
Blackout and Snapshot would have perished right there, except Hawkins held his ground on that cover. So Hawkins comes around with the advantage. Blackout NZ not going to be able to do anything here with Hawkins not going to be able to do anything here with Blackout NZ on the pump. I actually was going to predict that Blackout was not going to be able to make those shots, but the range on that pump action is actually still quite capable by the looks of things.
Yeah, look, and
nice throw with the molly.
Hawkins did the right thing there. There was a knock. He put pressure on it. He was let down though by his teammates not being there to back him up. Peeking had the defilade, watching in third person as he peeked, just stood up and dropped him because he didn't have any support there. Probably something for those guys to take back from there. You really need to be playing together in squads. You can't leave a guy hanging.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. Some of the strongest plays you do see is when point man gets follow-up with some support. Usually sort of 2v2s moving together in those sort of formations make the best sort of plays. So unfortunately, as you mentioned for Hawkins, without the backup there, I think Patience, we saw him sitting in a building just slightly to the south and west of the current location. And it kind of looked a bit like he was baiting quite a lot, looking for an open shot as players are sort of egressing from the west to the east, as we see Blackout with the knockout there. Now, Blackout doing the right thing as well. Like, we saw Hawkins put that pressure on, as you mentioned, when the DBNO was on right in front of this corner right here where we were having a look with Graphite. And I think, with Blackout doing the same thing, all that does is it eliminates another player from contention in the current firefight. Unfortunately for both teams, this takes them as far as they could possibly be for a nice place gain on the ladder. So the smarter move this early in is for a CG for an in-game leader to make the call. Look, it's not worth it this early in when we've lost. We've made this many casualties. If Peeking goes out now, or likewise for Graphite, it's gonna be at a loss for points for either of them. And I think they need to recognise this more than sort of the need for vengeance right now. And I think Peeking is cluing onto the idea to try and get out of here. Graphite goes for the push though, and Peeking capitalising on that. So, to the victor goes the spoils. Peeking getting himself a lot of loot there, and he's broken the curse.
He's broken the curse, but he's left there alone, is he? Yeah, so he's going to have to loot up. That circle's coming in. He's going to have to secure a vehicle pretty quickly.
Now, spaced out here with Spacey coming in from a wide open space from the north, looking to get a little bit closer in on Hard Meme and the boys just in front, playing catch up. Perhaps they're unaware. You can see Hard Meme's got himself a lack of HP. I think they are actually aware. They got their WAS out. They're looking to the northwest of their location currently, and they got eyes on Spacey. Trashmang taking a couple of shots. This is a nice flank position. Do you see what DK Game has here right now, this pincer between the yellow house and the cup, and then space to the north. Oh dear, DK coming in for a very, very hard push. We'll see if this is going to be fruitful for him. Looking for a right side flank. Can't tell if he's on auto. Hopefully he's got it off burst. Looks like to be full auto. Going for the reload. 40 rounds back in extended. Jumps over for the jump shot. He shoots. And it rebounds, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully Spacey and the boys are going to be able to pick up the slack here and keep him alive. Blowing some doors down, blowing some windows in might do some justice. Everyone DBNO except for, I think, Hard Meme going on the res here. No, Trash Mang. Trying to open that door up. This is a bad res.
Spacey executes his teammate, pushing in. Hopefully he's got some cover while he's pulling off this res. Looks like he does have another teammate in Overwatch.
He does have him in cover. Nice crossfire there too. DK, low health on DBNO levels. Looking for the jump shot again. Trying to slam dunk it here. Spacey got in for assault with the AK. As we pull out, Spacey gets himself to kill the AK on Hard Meme. So DK Jane pulling off a very nice play from downtown of running up on that flank from the southeast, moving to the east side of that cup building and jump shotting through there, making some effective plays on the HP, downing them and getting some support from Spacey, if I'm not mistaken. That was Spacey there, wasn't it, Nutshot?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was great. That was great teamwork. The two guys in Overwatch pushed in, got the res off, and then wiped out the guys stuck in that building.
There was absolutely no baiting in that. That's like, you couldn't call it better than. I wish if we had the opportunity to listen to the comms in situations like that, just to hear the way that they're going to try and get that situation under control. I think there was definitely a point there where Spacey just would have yelled out, "I'm on my way," as soon as the DBNO went on DK Jam there. Looking out from above Varelios, and there's a crate to them in their immediate east, but they're right in the middle of a heavy fire zone right now as DWCK coming past with a vehicle just to the north. I don't know if he's going to go for contention because it's inside of the red zone, but Varelios and the boys are in apps, and that gives them plenty of safe cover. And they've got tunnel vision right there on the crate as well, so no need to really worry. Looks like they're all rocking predominantly ARs. Got a hollow sight. That's good enough for them to be able to get anyone who's going to come in for slim pickings with a vehicle, at least be able to take out tyres. Not too good a shot to the north side from his current location. If they were to go into cover, might get away. He does have a teammate further north. There we go. As we see Kamikaze with a nicer position right there.
Don't know if these guys have actually looted that crate yet, or they're just waiting to bait it out. They're obviously going to stay inside with the red zone.
That was a very close explosion. Things are getting spicy.
Yeah.
The only thing that could have made that more intensive if Kamikaze was wearing, a bandana with a red dot and some flares on it, might have suited that situation a little bit better from an outside camera angle with those explosions flying off. You see sticks and stones going down.
Six I think he just got hit by the red zone, did he, through the window? It looks like he did.
We need more kill feed information. I love the way that they went with winner chicken dinner for the feed final line that you're going to get, but maybe they should have some things that express when people are actually getting DBNO'd by the zone. I think it would add a little bit of comic relief to the gameplay as well. Something for people to watch out for when they're in spectator mode. Sorry, I've been corrected. Archer's just chimed in there with, it does say has been knocked down by the red zone. So obviously my situational awareness needs a little bit of work there, Nutshot.
No comment, Suko. Okay, we can see this next shrinks come in. So this is fairly central into
by a co-caster here.
Fairly central into the existing circle. Milta and Farm are going to be viable positions. So you're going to see people starting to move in. Pekin, let's see what Pekin does. Pekin's by himself, so he's got a fairly small footprint. He's going to try and get somewhere fairly central, fairly safe. Probably hide up, see what the next circle does, and he's in a fuckboy. Probably not the worst play. The motorbox a bit of a giveaway, but he'll probably want to just try and sit there and stay safe. Hope no one comes too close. And see
it just doesn't give him room to breathe, though. That's the only downside to it. As soon as a squad sees or has, any inclination that he might be in there, there's really nothing he can do, especially if he's versing quite a few players. In my opinion, it would have been a better situation if he put himself into a building with two exits if he put himself into something concealed like a rock or a bush, at least he has a plan B. When you're inside one of them shacks, there's really not too much you can do if you get surrounded. Jumping in with Disco Viking right now, putting some rounds downrange, firing out east there on the guys in the Dacia. David Blaine in very, very low HP as he just gets Disco Viking just knocks out Sand Monkey right there. And that was Bouncy Butts also just getting the kill there on Benny Q. Navodge knocking out Quack Knight in the kill feed. They're on board with Stuka.
Just taking that step back to Pekin, the other thing to note is he's by himself, so squads aren't going to be trying to move in to secure a fuckboy cabin. They're going to be going for bigger two-story houses, so he probably is playing it quite smart there. I think he's doing the right thing.
Depends on his situation as well. Like coming over that crest where he's at, there's not much hard cover. And I think it might be something that, like, just like a tree coming over that cover might be attractive to a team as they want to try and get themselves in a good position. So that's where I think it might be his downfall, is if perhaps you're right, they might not be looking for hard cover to try and get inside, but you never know, just to secure themselves in that position as they cross that road. It might work for him if he can keep himself quiet if someone does come across him in that position. But it will be interesting to see how that does play out, especially as the circle starts to condense from the north further towards the centralised area. So we're on board with Delbatron right now. Got himself an M16 down top of a dirty mattress with David Blaine.
He's got a line down there on David Blaine. So these guys are obviously engaged by Disco Viking off to the west. They're also under fire from the red houses up there. So these guys are pretty stuck at the moment.
Geez, that line of sight that Dalbatron had is massive, absolutely massive. The advantage that he's got there on David Blaine right now, because I know that David Blaine's taken the heaviest fire from close to his west. He's going to expose himself at some point, and it's going to be to Dalbatron's advantage, which is what he's counting on right now.
So we can see the circles moving in. Teams are starting to look for those sort of safe positions. We can see Shero and Les and V will be moving in there from the east. They'll be trying to find somewhere secure. They might be chilling around Lumber Mill at the moment.
Have a look further out west. We just saw Zapruder moving out west from outside of the blue. And he's starting to come back in now. Now, this was round one's winners for the night. And they are so far out of the blue right now. I think he's just gone back to pick up Kaysan, which is probably what I'm thinking he's done there with the motorcycle as they're coming back into the zone. Okay, so it's an interesting play there. I think he's got the Glock on board as well. So extended mag there, well, look at things. Pretty strong sidearm to have there.
Yeah, and look, they've got the best vehicle in the game at the moment. They've got the two-seater motorbike, so mobility and speed is their best defence at the moment.
Linking back up with the rest of their team right now is the look of it. Hopefully the sound that they've generated isn't going to be enough to give away. It looks like Somatic actually holding off. Man, these guys have a lot of open space right here. They have the entire northwest at their disposal. So depending on where this circle goes, as long as it doesn't go any further in from the east to the south to farm, this is going to be advantage again to last round's team winner.
And you can, Pekin should buy a lotto ticket. He just had, I think it was Muxie's team just drive straight past him. Obviously didn't stop to check the fuckboy. So strategy paying off at the moment.
He might be out of toilet paper though after that one. There's not too many times you can live past that situation, especially as the circle's getting closer and closer. You never know. It might be one of them. One of the situations where the guys come back up looking for him.
Maybe. We can see Shero and V are bunkered down in my favourite compound on the map. This
Love
is
Shack number 2.
No, that's the original Love Shack.
It is the original 1. Love Shack.
Yep, so it looks like they're in a bit of a standoff there with Disco Viking and co. Les is fairly separated. Les is up near the bunkers, so he is off by himself. If the team in the bunkers do spot him there, he's going to be in quite a bit of trouble.
Well, he was separated really early as well at Mill to Power, and that's when we made that call that we could see that the guys are separating from each other, moving sort of north and south from each other, and then that's when Zoid went down almost immediately upon landing. So maybe these guys are playing it out for spread on points and maybe looking to find alternative angles in the circle. I think it's a very good play for late game if there is good spread there between them, or perhaps they just simply got cut off from one another. On board with Navodge right now.
Looks like two teams in these two different two different compounds. It happens more often than you'd think. You'll have two squads in these different buildings here. They're quite good buildings. They seem to fall in the circle quite regularly as well.
I think I remember Luke Ultra coming up on almost this exact same situation, as there was a team in the red building on last week's Wednesday CGL, and I think it might have been just across the road, slightly to the south, if I'm not mistaken. And he was just crawling up along the fence line, not knowing that there was another team in there. So these guys in the red building, if they're not spotted right now, they're doing a very good job. But it looks like Gunny on the assault there with the grenade. So I think they definitely know they're in there.
Yeah, they definitely know. They've made the decision to breach. They may know there's only two of them in there. I'm not sure, but yep, entry nades. They're going to push up. That was three up there.
Yola putting in a hell of a lot of work here. He's stopped it now. Zeta, no, not with the nade. He needs to go in and oppress these guys. Stop them from making that push.
Excellent nade. Excellent nade. He got a kill and he got
Here we go with the capitalization. He's done the right thing here. Going for that assault. There's only two of them in the building up top. He needs to put pressure on them to make them feel a little bit more of a pacific nature, just to not try and push. I think this is going to work against him. Gunny coming up while they're on the res. He's probably seen him in third person, and he ends it. Unfortunately, if they just waited a couple more seconds and went in behind that cover, could have used a third-person perspective for left-right angles. But unfortunately, it might have been right around the last 10% that he could have had for that bleed-out time. So working against him, but you see Yola getting a lot of good damage in there going down. I had said it was a bad idea with that nade, but obviously cooked it enough time to put two of them down, I believe, and then finish off another. So definitely a good play.
And good presence of mind from, I think it was Gunny there, he knew the res would be forced, his health would be ticking down, so he made the aggressive charge and took advantage of the situation. Good play. What's
your take on DWICK's yellow jumpsuit? Do you think it's something that will give him any tactical edge at all? Like, is it supposed to enrage the enemy with its combat ineffectiveness, or?
Look, I'm a bit agnostic about the yellow jumpsuit. I mean, I love LEG, but I don't know if I'd be wearing it. I think I'd be much preferring to wear the darker colours.
You've really inspired me to get one of them now. I could just see myself playing in a pub game and yelling out "into house" every time I enter a house over direct chat. On board with Stucker right now. Stucker. Don't know how he wants us to pronounce that, but I'm going to butcher it anyway. Running parallel with DWICK. Also with his teammates moving and pressing just towards this building on the right side. One still alive. I think that was from that last altercation, if I'm not mistaken. Just across the road there.
Yeah, Blue's coming in. Pressure's on these guys to move. And Dick gets dropped.
This was that house that Luke Ultra went down at last CGL on the Wednesday. Right there at that fence line. He was crawling past with the team inside, unbeknownst to him. As we roll around, see the Blue coming in. Just to the right, we've got one team. Full squad still alive. It's good to see that. It's at 50 players left. It's always advantageous to still have everybody alive. There's going to be a lot of loot kicking around, especially when people are getting picked off and straggling. A lot of this time around sub 50, usually teams of threes and a couple of stragglers and singles. You can see Orgrunt and Virilios very, very cut off on the far west side on that peninsula. Pekin almost left the center there, very close, but he's not in a very good position because he's going to have to come through three angles of fire along an MSR. MSR is going to be probably very well watched for late vehicles, and depending on where he gets into that circle, he's going to have to move again. So things are starting to look a little bit dire for Pekin, unfortunately.
Look, I think he'll be okay. He's got a bike, so he can move fairly quickly. He's just going to wait, assess the situation, and push in on the next circle. You can see there's still a couple of houses left in the middle of this circle, so teams will be pushing in to those. Obviously, unaware some of them are uninhabited at the moment.
I'm liking Spaghetti and Bouncy Butt's position right now, right in the middle of the MSR. It's going to give them advantage over the valley ground, which is going to be exposed, being high up as well. The only disadvantage is them, anyone who can get up close, probably pending the accessibility of the crate, might push up on them from the nor west side, which is going to be the blue roof building just below them. As you can see, Somatic, Merrick, Kaysun, 12 APB, Stucker, ODOG going DBNO there, just north of the current firefight. Somatic pushing now. It looks like these guys might end up on the edge of the circle around Bouncy Butts and Sketty, as Somatic going down scope on O-Dog trying to convert this try right now, and he does get it. So the extra 2 points going to Somatic, so to speak.
Yeah, so we've got about 15 seconds before this next circle pushes in. These guys here are currently on the short edge of the circle, so it's not going to be pushing them too hard. Bouncy Butts crew right on the edge in that building. Great visibility of the rest of the circle, but...
If Zaparita putting in work here, defended this assault.
He's going strong, and he's going to execute these two guys. Yeah, Bouncy's team, good position, but if that circle shrinks off them without a vehicle, they've got a lot of open ground to cover.
Zaparita decking right down in the middle of that smoke. Disco Viking trying to keep insights pending a shot. Down cab, Els Brutal, yes, I'm blind now. With Disco Viking exposing himself to the east side, letting them just slip right through the hard cover. As they close in on Gunny Mate, sitting solo inside that building there, just in the just off centre to the west, in the north end of the circle. On board now with IDK. You can see in the kill feed, Sticks and Stones was knocked outside of the play zone, and Shero from Void the Zoid finally getting that one with the SKS. So with that, 44 players left alive.
Yeah, IDK just keeping Barney pinned there. Knows he's outside the circle. Barney's looks like he's going to try and heal out of this, but he has to move. This circle is going to start chunking very hard.
As you say that, you can see Barney getting his wings on, but we'll see if it's enough to get him some fight or flight into the zone. V-Fox right on the edge as Bongsy Coffin and Shabs moving in on the north-west side with the DBNO just slightly north. Extrude DBNO as he climbs over the side of that fence with a big hole in it. V-Fox just out of range for that frag going off just in front of him. Backstrix sitting there on that northeast window looking north, trying to provide a little bit of cover. Just out of sight for them. Anyone pressing on the west side is going to be putting a lot of pressure on. Coffin with a nade, I believe, going over. Not far enough on the side of that wall. Happy Novites looking over at Grumps, IDK, and Miggles just outside of the smoke. Very good smoke there coming into play. We did see a lot of hold off on smokes, as you know they did have a big client side interaction, but it's definitely making some comebacks in this game tonight, making some big impacts. As IDK or one of the guys going DBNO right there next to them on the cross of looks like is that EOM6 right there.
Another great little compound these guys are in. This is actually Love Shack number 3. So all my favourite compounds have had some visitors today, which is good. I'm really keen to see what happens to Pekin.
That was a great
nice
shot.
Yeah, fantastic shot by Happy.
Beautiful selection there by Archer, our best boy on key grip right now. Holding up the stream for us on the spectator cam as we can see Happy No Bites going in for the conversion points there on IDK. Just out of sight, just out of range. Close, but no cigar.
20 seconds to the next circle starts to move. Those guys are actually going to be in a bit of trouble out there. And I'm keen to see what Pekin's done. He's just been chilling in that cabin down on the bottom of the mini-map there. You can see he's got action happening all around him. He's going to have to start moving pretty quick. I don't know whether he's got
still
a vehicle
standing.
Or he's going to go on foot.
He's at full stim right now, and he does have himself a 3-seater. This could spell disaster if he decides to go south. If he goes south, which he's not doing, which is the smart play.
Look, he's been watching. I think he'll be aware of where people are. He's going to take his chances, try and get central, and that did not work out very well for him at all. Good effort by Pekin.
Looked like it was probably a last-minute decision to try and disengage from going for that hard cover there. He might have been trying to go for a little shack to the right-hand side, based on what he'd been watching, as you said.
Yeah, I think that was just unlucky.
Bit of a pop shove it there. As Zap Ruder just gets put down right next to the blue Dacia, just smoking right now.
And Blind Freddy just took out Bastrix, who did a very poor job of parking that Dacia.
Looks like Elle is camping, not so much Brutal right now, but she looks very comfortable in that defilade. Gunny Mate far stretched outside the circle. He's probably going to be chunking quite a lot. We jump on board. He looks like he's trying to stim, perhaps? Or is that the animation with first aid kit? First aid kit. He's going to get in the zone with this. Come past this white tree formation just on the north side. looks like he's out of any aggro range, looking for another first aid kit. Oh, geez, he's really sore here. He's still got another 50 metres to cover almost. That's about 6 more seconds to travel before he gets into the zone, and he's not going to make it. Unfortunately.
Ooh, that was close.
Oh, he's got it. Look, it looks like it's the opposite to what it was round one of CGL. Every time I say someone's not going to make it, they're making it. Every time I say someone's going to win, they're going to lose. So it's not so much a curse tonight. It looks like I'm doing everybody favours. I'm just going to say that everyone's a loser tonight, and it looks like everyone's going to win. Subslayer holding nice and comfy in the hay bales there with the ump. Can't stump the ump. Shero got himself an SKS and an M16 combination with a pan as well.
Yep, a lot of open ground for these guys to cover. Circle is on their backside. They still have a vehicle in play. It'll get them out of trouble, but we'll obviously be announcing their position to anyone else who's watching.
Shero not afraid to get a tan here, and not afraid to put a little bit of sun on some people as he blasts out a little bit of heat right down towards Subslayer. Going for cover there. Nice little dip that he's made. Down out the sidestep as he runs closer to Subslayer's position. Subslayer, a very nice deflator. He's probably going to spot Shero, which he has. Going for the conversion. Subslayer going down. Pops his head at the wrong time. Prairie dogging, gets his head taken off. Leonardo just dies outside of the play zone. Outlier and the boys now inside this two-story red. V1793 and Outlier very close proximity with V1793 down and out right now.
Yeah, and Shero got saved there. He was about to be finished off, and his killer was taken down from someone in that house. That was
Animal Alpha finally getting 1793 as well there. So with that, I'm no name both bought under this Y tree. Is that a frag coming in towards him? Might have been an overshoot there by Spacey. I can't see where else that grenade was going to be coming from. Unless, of course, it was Pac-Man, but there's no targets within close enough throwing distance. Coming down to the last 9 alive.
So, look, Shero's still alive. He's kept his team in contention. He has a bit of open ground to cover there, but hopefully these other teams are going to be focused on each other. He could actually sneak in there. If he keeps quiet, sneak in and try and survive for a higher placing, which is the name of the game.
Might be able to pull off a snapshot here. Might be able to see a repeat. That might be the call out for that play from now on after what we saw in last Bandana, the CGL round from last week with snapshots. Play of the night there. Spacey coming uphill, moving north-south now. Blind Freddy in view. Can he get the cover? Mo put himself in some blue right now. Spacey still exposed. Going to be taking a couple of shots here. Surprised that none of those hit from Mo because that looked like it was right in the middle of that red dot. Mo going with the frag. He's playing it very close on the edge here. See, Shero's still in play. Got himself a very nice deflade. He's got a bit of ground he's going to have to cover here to get in. He might be able to push in behind Bacon if he stays on his guts, but that's just going to keep him exposed to the guys that are to the north of him. So, bit of a hard situation for him. But with that said, he could underdog it just like Snapshot did last week.
Yeah, and look, good work by Shero. He's kept his team. He's got them a top 3 at least. Let's see what he can do. These other two groups seem to be focused on each other. Probably not aware that he's there.
At what point do you think Shero needs to come out and assault? Because Mozart's now starting to come over to the west. It's going to expose him to Shero. I think Shero's now going to be exposed to everyone on the same side of the road as him.
Yeah, look, I think the circle made the decision for him there. He probably would have been better waiting, trying to catch the team that was just to his right as they were getting pushed by the circle, try and drop them in the back and maybe secure the second. But look, it's always hard to say. Circle RNG will always play a big part.
Outlier putting a final end to Mozart's magnum opus right there. Unable to make a better composition, but we can see Outlier, Animal Alpha, Bacon Pac-Man, and Yasukage taking up the win for round 2. Any plays that stood out for you tonight in the second round so far, Nutshot?
Oh, look, I'll give Pekin points for surviving that battle up in the top northeast corner of the map and then staying alive as long as he did. That was a good effort. He was playing smart. He was playing tactically.
It's hard call for me to say between who I'd pick out of, I suppose, Shero or Pekin. I didn't have very much faith in Pekin from the beginning, based on the logistics of where he was, having the lack of teammates and skill at his disposal and how far he had to travel in. But he definitely picked it. He was able to get himself in there and play those points out. So kudos to him. I think players of the game tonight, we're probably going to have to pick for this round at least. Going to be Shero and Pekin as well. I think they put in very strong plays. So the boys from Bloodbath and beyond, Outlier, Bacon Pac-Man, Animal Alpha, and Yazakage, taking out the win for round number 2 in the Bandana division for CGL Season 2 game night number 3. We'll be back shortly after these messages. Welcome back to the final round of the night in Bandana Division for CGL. This is the third night for Bandana Division. We're on the final game of the night. We've just come off seeing the boys from Bloodbath and Beyond taken out the W there. So we go on to the last match of the night. Any expectations? Nutshot, you got any ideas who you think is going to be our top contenders for the final match?
Look, you have to go with the favourites again, which would be Team Rank Tank. I think they might have got a little bit unlucky in the last game, getting stuck with another squad who decided to go to Zaki as well. Let's see if that changes their decision on where they go to loot up in this final game of the evening.
I think Rank Tank definitely underplayed from the performance in the last few weeks. So if all the cards go right, we'll be able to see them in the top. Another player to keep an eye on, I'm going to have to say Zap Brody. He might be up there again tonight. Definitely putting in a bit of work in the earlier rounds of the night. As we go in for the drop, we'll see where we end up early on. That is if the pilots are ready.
Yeah, pretty similar flight path. Probably heading a bit lower into the map on the. It's going to end up in the middle western edge of the map, but a fairly similar sort of trajectory.
So is that Red and Kaysen now landing where early on we saw avoid the Zoid land, and as you said, it's a very, very similar pattern. So it's surprising to see the difference in spawn selection. I suppose maybe for some of the early casualties, they might have opted to go for somewhere different. You see Bouncy Butts going right there on Sosnovka military base, as also landing Dynamance's team moving down on Novoprenoi on the far east side of the Southern Island. Choke point.
Yep, so we got one team mill base, one team. Is that one or two teams Nova? It's a bit hard to tell.
Single team there with I Love Spaghetti, and then you got Novopreneur, I think.
Yeah. And then obviously the rest of the spreads happening. There'll be a team looting Milta, team heading up to power plant. Bit of congestion in the middle of the map, school and apartments. Looks like we might have multiple squads there. Looks like Zoid's team are making ahead for that sort of North George area. It looks like they've split up as well. Les probably going for a vehicle. And we've got another team long shooting into North George as well. So might be a bit of early conflict. Interesting to see where this first circle is going to land. That's going to determine who's in good position and who's out of position in the first stage of this round.
I think I'm just going to throw out there that Palapinos, we haven't seen much from Palap, Push, Yala, apart from sort of late game in the last round, a bit from Yala there, or Illa, I'm not sure if I'm butchering that. But Lekik and the boys are down there just west of the Western Bridge, and that's going to be a choke point on that MSR as Neeps and I think it's Kettle Mantis, if I'm not mistaken. Those guys are going to have to come in from the west, moving to the east. So perhaps the guys from Palapinos will get a little bit more play. I haven't seen much of Palap in his team in tonight, so I'm usually a little bit more intrigued to see what they're going to pull off, as they did quite a lot of work in the first CGL divisions. As we come into Rozok and School Zone area around the apps as well, we can see Joski's, DWICK, Black Flare, and Barney the Dinosaur down on apps. Vrilios, Allgrunt down there in School, Extrude actually in Rozok. Now, these guys are having what looks to me like a bit of a deja vu round on the early spawn that we saw there from round one, where this is, I believe, where Hawkins went down from rank.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Is this the same two squads who've landed Roz again?
No, because sorry, not from rank tank. Hawkins from Pure Gakka. My apologies. This is where those guys were early on. Happy Novites, I think they landed further to the west. It just looks like everyone's pretty much picked the same predominant spawn zones that we saw. Now, this is a very big turn from what we saw in the end game from CGL 1, the first season of CGL 1, where everyone was avoiding the high value or the sort of very well sought after loot spawns. In CGL Season 2, we're finding a lot more people condensing around some of the high value areas. It's just not the same teams this time, but it's definitely a very big deja vu situation for us, at least casting, spectating, and watching the PUBG OCE CGL on Twitch.
Happy Novites, he's got a smidgen of health left. I think he's been picked from the high ground opposite, was it? Was it IDK?
I think Weitz is very happy and capable under pressure. He always seems to be taking flack. But he's making a good recovery. He got straight in there on the first aid.
I think IDK has the advantage here with the AK. So
I was going to say the exact same thing.
Unless Happy can get in close enough to make that double pump shotgun pay off.
Well, what about the fact that Decay doesn't have a helmet? Has Weitz himself? I didn't actually pay enough attention to see if his head's just popping out there. He's almost psychic. I think he can hear us, mate. It's like he's on the same level right now, but Decay's just lost him out of his point of view. I think he might think that he's there on that corner of the edge. But Weit's only working with a shot. He's not going to really be able to put much of a push on, but he's got himself into that red house. Juked him. Live on Twitch, PUBG, OCE, we just saw IDK getting juked by Happy No Weitz. Absolutely comfortable being under pressure right there. And he's going to take the highway. That was a very interesting play there to see. I think No Weitz is definitely underplayed, going under the radar with the way that he played that. Very, very skilled intellectual right there. Jumping on board with Benny Q.
Yeah, look at these guys at Novo. They've, Novo's typically a pretty good place to loot up. You get all your high-level gear from the crates. You get all your attachments and meds from the houses. They've also got a crate dropping in. So pretty fortunate for these guys. As long as it's not a Tommy gun or a KAR, they're probably going to be pretty happy with this.
Well, the crate never, ever really spawns here at Novo. So it's interesting to see that they have such a high value area, and on top of that, one of them's going to be able to be lucky enough to get away with this crate, but it doesn't seem that any of them know it's there yet.
Yeah, I don't think it'll take long for them to notice it.
Lanny's going to the roof. He's going to see it.
I've seen one crate land at Novo, and that was on the roof of the Wizard Tower, which no one could get.
You watch, here goes Lanny right now. Not going to say anything to his team. Oh, no.
He's missed it.
This is what happens when you get a spot like this all to yourself. You're going to get just far too comfortable. These guys are moving away from the crate. If for the final round of the night, nobody goes for this crate, I'm going to be astonished. They've just got tunnel vision. Lanny working completely parallel to it. Now they're all over on the west side of town. Benny and Lanny slowly condensing on one another. I think they might completely bypass it.
I'd be surprised if no one sees it.
This is going to go down in CGL history. That one time that Lanny was on the roof, completely missed the giant red smoking crate, and we're never going to know what was inside it. That could have been a ghillie suit. It could have been an AWM. It could have been the M24. Could have been the M249. Who knows? As we pull out over the Midwest, having a look over Gatka. You see GM dropping the boys there just near dead to the west-southwest of Gatka. DK Jim moving in the vehicle on the west MSR.
Yep, these guys are going to be starting to think about moving. That circle's on its way in now, so they're going to have to go from what you call the mid-southwest over to the Middle East.
I think Archer's got the right idea, focusing back on the crate. I just don't think we can let them. I just don't think that we can let them work away with this. We need some people to be clipping this right now. Like, this just cannot. This just cannot go on. They are moving away from the crate, ladies and gentlemen.
This is the most entertaining thing that's happened all night. It's fantastic.
At this level in competitive gaming, with 24 teams, not one of them has gone for the crate, and the team in the closest proximity to where the crate actually landed has just been completely oblivious to it. And they are in a vehicle right now. Lanny and the boys have just picked up a vehicle at Nova Pranoi, watching everybody else condense in on the circle as they are starting to work out of it by the looks of it, ladies and gents. See Gunny Mate moving just to the south-southwest, Baybase Baggins and the boys down Cab and Mozart right in the thick, the drop zone. We can see Extreme 2G peeking, taking a little bit of flat coming in. Jam Drop just putting out some pot shots there. Rocking the SKS. I think he's got a red dot on that one. Just looking to put some shots down range, try and get these guys off their hinges.
Yeah, look, there's nothing wrong Besides from giving away your position, nothing wrong with taking those shots. If you get a lucky headshot and knock someone out, you can really disrupt someone's squad early in the game.
There's Clavigus right now. Getting closer. Ever so closer to that crate. Oh, I see a crate. What the hell is going on?
My goodness.
This did not just happen. Someone clip that. No. No. He's just jumped on a roof within eye shot of the crate and he's completely disregarded it. How can this be happening? What weapons have these guys got that they can't have anything on them right now that is not out of that crate? Surely by now they've picked that up. I think, to me personally, that's more entertaining than the rest of what's going on, but I'm sure everybody else wants to see how these guys are advancing, so we're going to start to close in shortly on Rozok. Have a look at the guys here. Extrude, Joski's, VFox. We can see IDK, Miggles all starting to condense here, just on the bottom edge of that intersection. Decay coming up on the north side.
Yeah, Circle's pushing, and it's going to start forcing these guys into position. IDK taking some shots on, and he gets... No, that's
Subslayer getting VFox there. IDK gets the kill with the hollow sight, though.
Finished him off. That was probably some good comms there, directed fire, and definitely making it hard for that team.
Also got some crossfire here. Northeast, southwest over the road. Hard versus soft cover. Darcy in range. Happy Novites running across. Slight death allayed. Joski's with good eye shot if he's got him within his range. Happy Novites taking the vehicle. Black Flare and DWCK going to be hearing it, looking for the car. Can just see the Darcy. Not going to be able to hit anything there with that sporadic aim on the 8 times through the window with his Scar L. Extrude NZ moving back through the woods, going for a pickup from Happy Novites. Again, Happy Novites always happy to play outside of the regular comfort zone. I think that's going to be one of his strengths that we're going to see here in the final round. I believe the pressure that he's put on for the respective teams he's been engaging with made them very uneasy, being that's the last game tonight. Everyone's going to be playing for points, but then you see Vites is just like, you know what, stuff it. I'm going to do what I want to do. I want that car, I'm taking it. And puts himself in a good position. You can see IDK here, just south of the boys there on the southeast side of the road. He's moving up on the hard cover. I think they're very well focused on Miggles and the boys in the Dacia. Sorry, on Miggles and the boys as they come down the dirt road. The Dacia actually moving with Extrude closer towards Mansion, but it's already being occupied by Odog and Zhang Shi, 42. Leonardo and the guys from Avoid the Zoid moving in on the northeast. V1793 got himself another car respectively, so individually these guys are split and moving. I think Archer was pointing out that the guys down in Nova Honey are still around the crate. Now, if we zoom in and have a look at the player inventories, we'll be able to tell straight away whether or not these guys actually picked up something from the crates. So on board with an M416, nothing there to be... Oh, it looks like the M24 is in play, if I'm not mistaken. Lanny finally got that one. No, that's an SKS. Car 98, perhaps? Looks like the Car 98.
I think this would make a good post-game interview. Ask the guys if they actually did see that crate there that they all ran past about 10 times.
We were watching the majority of the time there. We saw the smoke deploy. We saw the parachute land. There's no way in hell these guys didn't see this giant parachute just flashing in the air going, hey, man, here's some free stuff. Look, if we find out and they've never gotten it, I'll be astonished. Red zone now, popping up between Roz and Yaz now.
Yep, and back on point, we can see this is the stage of the game where vehicles are starting that will play a key role in getting these teams into good position in the next circle. Still guys hanging around on the edges. These guys on the rock, Lekik, Zeta and Yilla are going to be, unless they've got a vehicle, they're going to be in a bit of a world of hurt here. It's quite a lot of open ground they're going to have to cross to get into the circle. Looks like they're starting to move. But
got Beagle Rush in the chat saying that in OBS you can actually go up the crate and press E to see what's in it. So if we do get an open space here, we might be able to check if they actually did pull what was out of the crate, as we are still on board with Lekik, as you were saying, Nutshot.
Yeah, Lekik taking one in the head. So I think he might be Yeah, these guys are in a very bad position. Is that 2 knocked? Possibly 2 locked with just Yella still up. So Trashman and Co should probably go try and finish that kill, quickly loot up and start moving. They've got a minute before this circle comes in. They've got a fair bit of ground to cover. Without a vehicle, they're going to have to start running. So put the pressure on, boys.
I think it's trash night, and Trashman's got some bins to take out, and he's got a job to do. But Illa knows what's happening. Looking for a wide flank here, going to go rock face. Now, this is a dangerous play because if he can't find a way up with the eventuation in 46 seconds of that circle closing, he's going to be put in a very, very sticky, or I suppose now a wet situation as he's moving around those south rocks on the coast. He is probably not going to cover the ground he needs for the next 46 seconds. Perhaps if he's got stims, he can make it in, but then that's just going to put him between Stick Stones, Kamikaze, and Virilios. Gunnymate moving up underneath farm south side, going into the southwest central, just underneath where Black Flare is moved past. Leonardo, we can see him held up, some hard cover in this.
This is the crunch time. People vying for buildings inside the circle. A lot of breaches happening at this stage of the game. Whoever gets there first obviously has the advantage, holding off the breaches. You see Zoid's getting some cover there with his team, looking across to these guys in one of these other buildings.
Kelsey going down, SKS straight to the head from Zoid, mate. Getting some centre of mass shots there, popped off with the 8 times.
Yeah, he doesn't miss many shots, the old Zoid, mate.
I think Zoid is a hybrid of Terminator and Robocop 3, from what I've heard from the PUBG OCE chat. At least those are the rumours that are going around. As we are on board with Spacey, bandaging wounds, he's not in a very good position because, assault coming in, he's going to need to make a move. If he has to do anything hastily, he's going to be right inside scopes for the guys from Avoid the Zoid. But he's got 2 teammates that he's got there in the red building. Very, very good cover that they've got there. Prison, D Green's up there in the prison, uncontested. Low ground, disadvantage for anyone that's going to be condensing on that area. But from high ground, see Gunnymate going down now. His DBNO getting rezzed, I suppose. Yeah, he's up.
And Yella's struggling. He don't actually know if he fell or if he opted to jump off, but I'll be very surprised if he gets out of this one alive. He's got a long way to swim.
I believe that he opted for that. He seemed very committed for that run along the coast, so it definitely looked like he knew what he was doing, or at least his intentions were there. It looks like this shit's really hitting the fan for Illa because he's actually in a red zone now. So we're going to have a look inside the inventory here of the care package. And Car 98, 7627. The guys have not seen what was inside that crate, unfortunately. They've completely missed it. It's astonishing, ladies and gents. Final round of CGL for the night. There has been a drop in danger close vicinity of the boys, and all of them have completely disregarded or have not seen it. There's a first.
Typically, there's either some armor or a backpack in those. I reckon they actually might have seen it and had enough cars already. So we'll find out after the game.
Fingers crossed for their benefit. I hope so that they got something out of that, because it's so unlikely that you're going to get a spawn for a drop there at Novoprenoi. So hopefully they got to utilise and make the most out of that. As you said, if there's armor, that's going to be benefit to them. Also, if they maybe had a level 3 backpack like what we see Kesley having as well. But we can't see him wearing his Ali G into house, as he is into house right now, suit. As we pan the camera around, we can see the saucepan on his back. Navoj nicely camped up there in the north-east side, overlooking the cup. We can see Gunnymate there inside the cup. Got probably a 270-degree view here. Close enemies. Spacey, Blind Freddy, Kelsey. I think advantage probably goes to Gunny at the moment, because if these guys have to cross guns looking for an exfiltration from their current position, it's going to work for him as a solo player. The ability to reduce morale, maybe taking down one of them, is going to be able to get him out of the sticky situation he's in, except for Devoj. More of an advantage above Gunny from that area. As ELR still moving, going to need to get some foothold here to be able to get his first aid kit off. We'll see if he can get this happening. He's managed to survive that red zone nutshot, which came on top of the demise that he had as he was coming from so far out.
If he gets up, gets meds and gets into the circle, he'll get points from me. That'll be a pretty good effort against all odds.
He's
healed up. Yeah, he's healed up.
Stimming.
He's going to stim up. Let's see if he can find some cover. There's a minute till the next circle pushes in. I don't think he's got too far to go. The circle seems to be he's on the short edge, so the circle's pretty similar to the end of the last round as well. So it's sort of beginning to focus around this mill to farmhouse area.
I want to see Illa underdog this. I'm going to have to ask him. There's some Illa hype in the chat. He's done a good job getting himself down there on that south coast that you mentioned, Nutshot.
Yeah, he opted to leave his teammates and play for the points, which is that's the smart thing to do.
Oh
in this
dear! Oh dog, what have you done?
Oh dog prematurely evacuated his vehicle, and he's going to pay the ultimate price.
V1793 ticking off a few things on his shopping list right now. Very, very happy chappy. See Babyface Baggins in the Waz. What has happened there? Kesley just gets Babyface Baggins the M416. That was very close range as well. Been sitting in that house for quite a while. He's very comfortable with 8 seconds left on the play clock right now.
Yeah, look, these guys are in very strong position. They're centre circle. They're in very easy to defend houses. It's going to come down to circle luck on who gets to stay in their houses and who has to break cover to move. Again, having a vehicle in play is still quite important at this stage.
Extrude NZ with the rest of the boys here in the orange Dacia. Orange is the Darwinistic evolution for dangerous players, just to give off a warning to say, stay the hell out of our way. We're about to do something big here. Guys, keep an eye on. I think they're in a very good position in the zone itself, respectively, but as they push up on the hardcover, definitely becoming aware that they're coming upon 1.5 squads that are currently in contact. Definitely good to judge by the sounds that we can hear. Just below farmhouse now. Still looking for some hard cover here. They don't want to continue driving around. Taking shots now. Trying to avoid getting one on the tank. Half rolls it. I don't think anyone took any fall damage there. A little bit of sporadic fire coming in from the house.
Yeah, look, and that's a good play. They've got good position. They can set up in the house. It really is going to come down to a bit of circle RNG here to see who gets lucky with this snake shrink. It'll be quite interesting to see where it's going to go. Probably got about 10 seconds left.
Where is Illa? Did Illa perish? I have a feeling that we've lost Illa. Unfortunately, he's got himself, more points than he would have respectively from the position he originally had. Oh man, have a look at this. So the boys have gotten themselves into probably a less respectable zone from where they wanted to be when they were driving originally. You can see Zhangxi 42 very close to potentially the best hard cover, keeping him away from and keeping him sheltered, so to speak, as we look at him just above to the northwest of the shelter. He could take that hard cover on the closing end of that circle, buying him the most time to get there, and pretty much putting him away from every other team in contention. As we can see, DKG's coming up from the prison. Virilios on board now. M16, a lot of players pushing the M16. I don't know if it's by preference or if it's just by the randomization as we look up. Archer spotting that crate for us. See, Allgrunt getting up very close underneath the crate. Not too sure if they spotted it. It's getting very close to landing right now. Kamikaze has to have seen it.
Dangerous time to be going for crates. I mean, unless you're still fairly underlooted and you need that power weapon, you're taking a lot of risk going for a crate at this stage. But some people just can't resist the temptation.
It's uncontested. Kamikaze running straight past it. Is this going to be a 2-for-1 for CGL with players completely missing crates? 38 seconds on the blue. Kamikaze just disregards. Either seen it and disregard it, or, just going to completely leave that one there. Going further into the central south side of the zone. I think he's probably done a good call there because of the short time they're going to have to travel all the way up to the north. Jumping on board, Bouncy Butts just killing Gunny B there with a headshot from the AKM. Extrude rocking the UMP down at about 15-20% health. Zoid, mate. Happy no bites. Extrude going down. DBNO get the final kill with the SKS on Extrude NZ. Right next to a burning car. As mentioned in the first round for the night, standing next to those cars is really going to put you in a hot spot, so to speak. You're going to stand out, as we can see. Zoid, mate, going for the res right here. Spacey was knocked out. Spacey knocked out Shero, I believe it was, as he goes for the res here. IDK knocked out Neezy as well in the kill feed right now.
That was a terrible joke, CK.
Oh, I rate it. I give it a 4 out of 10 as we jump on board with IDK.
Yeah, mate, it's like making jokes about unemployment. You should never do it because they just don't work.
Oh, as we come in on center and we finally link up with that joke, we can see the guys from Miggles hiding behind the UAZ here. Mickey down behind the rock. Miggles, DBNO as well. Navodge now from the high ground. As we saw him earlier, high ground just above the northeast side from Milta, coming out of that position from the trees. Miggles going to start taking chunks now from the blue zone. I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to live this one out. It's very close to the end there. Kaysun getting coffin with the scar by the look of it. Was it Extreme that just knocked Miggles that far? I heard that coming from the perspective of Archer. Looks like it was a big knock. This could be a distance of about 500 meters by the look of it, if I'm not mistaken. Where's Miggles? 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 550 meters. No, this is even bigger than 550. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 600 meters, I think, that shot. Barney Dinosaur knocking out Rillios there with a UMP9. Good spotting there by Archer, by the way. That was a very, very, very long scoped kill that they've taken there. Easily to miss, just casting from the perspective that we have, so it's good that he picked up on that one. See, Benny Q finally died. Looks like that was DBNO bleed out.
Yeah, so this is crunch time, 40 left, minute to the next circle, pushing people into a fairly small circle, not a lot of cover. A few trees on the hill to the west of the barracks. We've got 2 squads in these houses. They're going to have to confront each other pretty quickly. Keezy's squad does have a UAZ parked in there. There's a Dacia on the outside. So if they can dispatch this squad in the house next to them, they'd have to get onto it pretty quick so to give them enough time to get away. No, they're just going to try and drive.
Kesley and the guys are starting to
this could
bring
be
out
quite
the pussy
dangerous.
move. Looks like D's going to have to put the double ICK in them. And he does. Takes one out. Drops jam drop. Unknown. The DWIC can put in Kelsey down as well. And Merrick. Like a NZ. Put in some work there. Blind Freddy going down. Joe Skis seeing the kill feed. Spacey's getting killed as well, unfortunately, with the M16. And we're bringing us down to 32 players. So that was a big feed going down probably 3 different places by the look of things. Moving out to the west side of the map. See Dead Dreams having no dreams. No name. Now for No Dreams. Oh, No Name going out into the blue right now. Dead Dreams just full stop there. No daydreams, no nightmares. He's out of the contention with 28 players left alive. Lesonato and Sherry are holding on the south side of the circle. They're going to have some contention coming up from the southwest side. Clavicus and here we see Black Flare now coming up in the Dacia.
Yeah, so Zoid's team in a great little pocket of cover there, and also the other squad. I didn't see who it was, but down at the T intersection.
We got a drift kill right there.
Well. Who was that? Black.
I think that was Black Flare. Black Flare just getting No Name with the Dacia. He's made a good move as well because, respectively from where he was coming in, he was going to go straight into tunnel vision for the guys from Avoid the Zoid. And taking that direction that he decided to go with the Dacia, not only did he get himself a roadkill, but he got himself out of danger's way, at least for the midterm. Peek and kill in Yazukage with the M16. And we saw also in the kill feed, Snapshot just takes out Barney the Dinosaur. Sharo picked up one as well, so Avoid the Zoid putting in some more work. Smoke grenade going out for the res. Animal Alpha now bandaging his wounds. Now he's just on the inside edge of that circle. Plenty of time to make his way in crawling. Big deathlades. Now these deathlades might be too big for him to see an advantage in pressing, just for the fact that the uphill game is going to be more advantageous, although he has a slow circle to be able to make that pressing. It just depends on where these teams start to converge in from. You can see I Love Spaghetti. Now he went at early last round, but he's still here with Chillville and Bouncy Butt, so looking to put in some work. I Love Spaghetti, one of the stronger players in the PUBG OCE community. You just see him grinding on the day-night 24/7 pretty much. He's always up there in the chat. So some of the stronger players we can see now making their way into the final 15. Extreme 2G just knocked out Bouncy Butts. Looks like Spaghetti and the boys are now in a very hairy situation. Spaghetti crawling towards a crate. Doesn't look like he's trying to get in a position right now for a res. Looks a little bit more interested in what's in that crate, but with 3 seconds remaining. Animal Alpha, pretty good position right now. He doesn't look like he's pressing out. 2 vehicles coming in on Spaghetti's position. Spaghetti going out to the zone by the look of it. Zoid putting the pressure on, though, to make that happen. V7093, Leonardo, Shero all moving in. Now putting themselves in a highlight out here on the dirt road, right outside the bunkers. 3 DBNOs finally getting out. Blackout NZ putting in the work right now. A lot of smoke going on right now. Using it to his advantage here, Black Flare. Just to the south side of the road from Peak and Snapshot. DICK is D-double own but not out. At this particular moment, I think what's going through Black Flare's head is I should not have worn this yellow jumpsuit.
Absolutely. Beacon and Rank Tank guys in good position there, and there we go. They held that good position to secure the win.
I think kill of the night.
Kill feed as well. Look at the kill feed there.
That kill of the night's just been taken. I was going to go to Zap Rooter for round 1, but Blackout taking that grenade kill right there to finish the round off. I think it was it was a final kill on the player that wasn't DBNO, but it counted as a double, and a good play to that, using that defilade to be able to make that happen. Blackout NZ, Snapshot, Extreme 2G, and Peak and taking out the win there. Some respective plays. Guys from Avoid the Zoid coming in third. DICK, BANDANA Round, Joe Skis, and Black Flare. So congratulations to those guys from Blackout NZ, Extreme 2G, Snapshot, and Peak have taken out the win in that one with very good results in the end there. Very entertaining win. Well, that's it for the night here from PUBG OCE. That was the final round for Bandana. Third game of the night for CGL Season 2 for Bandana Division. I'm Suko Vidya. I've been joined by Nutshot AU. Thanks for being with us, Nutshot.
Thanks for having me, Suko. Some good games tonight. No real surprise in that last game. The strong teams up towards the end of the circle and on the scoreboard.
Last but not least, just want to say thanks to Archer, who's been on the Spectator cam pretty much directing the show for us tonight. If you guys enjoyed, please do think about subscribing to the channel to help raise some funds for the future of CGL, the Community Gaming League here for PUBG OCE. Anyway, thanks for joining us tonight, and PUBG OCE will be back tomorrow night with CGL for the Season 2 for the guys from High Top Division. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you tomorrow night.